I know your secret. I know that you are Batman. I know that Dick Grayson is Nightwing. I want to be your new Robin. Oh, okay. It's time for that thing we do every single time when a new Batman comic comes out and we wanna die. Chapter 10 of Batman The Adventures Continue is here. Whew, we've been doing this a while now. In fact, if this is your first time tuning in, we've done Easter egg breakdowns of every issue so far, which you can find at the little playlist above my head or at the link in the description below. While last issue broke us in more ways than one, this new issue is a lot more look at this cameo than it is anything else. But we will look at those cameos and much more after a healthy dose of corrections speedrun. Stuff we messed up last time. I'm embarrassed to say that we completely forgot to mention how the animated series episode Joker's Favor already had a Goodnight Gracie reference from the man himself, Charlie Collins.
Say goodnight, Gracie.
So thanks to Max Elaine, Ferris, and Harrison Kelm for reminding me. And thanks to the Black Lodger for the reminder that it's also said by the Joker in A Death in the Family. And Dr. Topper for the reminder that it's also said in VeggieTales. And by reminder, I mean not that, because I never watched VeggieTales.
And so the cows that switched brains with the aliens broke the plate. And that is exactly what happened during the near apocalypse of 2009.
Blitz Hunter 12 points out the similarities between the Wolves Red Hood and the Red Hood gang on the TV series Gotham. And I gotta credit my boys at the DCAU Review podcast that this look is also similar to that of Tim Drake's first ski mask costume approach in Batman number 457 from December 1990. Jason's red hoodie could also be a reference to his character's look in the Red Hood Outlaw comics, or so presumes Marcus Javier. And the OG Batsuit having a circle belt is something Kyle Holmes thinks could be a reference to Batman's very first costume from Detective Comics number 27, May 1939. A couple of you pointed out that Joker's bumper car might be based on this Lego release from 2015, which was also used in the Lego Batman 3 Beyond Gotham video game the year prior. And according to many people, we may have gotten Jason's gun wrong. It could be an HK Mark 23, or a Kimber 1911, or a Colt M 1911, or a customized Jericho 941. I don't know. I don't know guns. Why did I even try? And lastly, Mr. Freeze also got his head frozen by Batman in the Batman Vengeance video game. Probably the closest Freeze freezes his head DCAU reference possible. Thanks, Batman fan. You're clearly more of one than we are, though some would beg to differ. 1. This is the second time now that we've had a different cover for part 2 of a physical issue. Is it to more easily clarify new issues for digital readers? Never stopped them from repeating before. 2. This very moody title card feels sort of like a sad version of the Batman Superman movie promo art that appeared on the back of the VHS case. Or a sadder version from that one Batman v Superman poster, and the everything is black and white except for red aesthetic is prominent in many forms of art, but perhaps most prominently memorable in Schindler's List, where the color red represented innocence. 3. We saw this "Hey, break it up" panel on July 14th on Ty Templeton's Instagram, where he mentions sitting down to work on the comic. So if it takes about a month to pump out the final product each time, then maybe we can expect this Leslie Tompkins panel in BTAC Chapter 12. Still no Two-Face yet, though. What was he sculpting that for? I must know! No mention of anything being off with Firefly here. There was a running theory that maybe he wasn't Garfield Linz, the Firefly we saw in the animated series, but Ted Carson, the mainstream second Firefly, as if he was maybe the first Firefly in the DCAU. But no confirmation either way. And in a comic where the writers are so specific which order the Robins went in, you'd think they'd mention if this was a different guy. So we're back to square one. Square one being, does at least one of the new Batman Adventures episodes take place years earlier than we thought it did, LOL? There's a dinosaur in the Batcave. Those of you who have seen our Batman Adventures Volume 2 timeline video, or dinosaur episode of The Vanishing Point, know that this has to be the first dinosaur, aka the robot dinosaur, not a robot dinosaur. And if you haven't seen those videos, do yourself a favor and queue them up after this one. Though with this comic trying to knock other comics out of canon, it might even be the only robot dinosaur. And this guy, this Bruce Wayne lookalike from last issue, turns out he has glasses. Is this me? 4. Ooh, he's totally not gonna let Jason be Robin. Jason's not gonna be Robin after all. Dini and Burnett want you to think Jason was a Robin between Dick and Tim. I think it's all to mislead you. And then we'll have a completely different origin for Jason than we're used to. But I guess we'll have to wait and see.
You son of a bitch.
Well, another clock tower appearance in the background here. And is this Mr. T? We got a new Robin suit for Jason, kind of a hybrid of Dick and Tim's suits with some flourishes we haven't seen elsewhere. I was hoping his suit would just literally be the black and red one that Tim wears in the new Batman adventures to explain its existence in the first place, but alas. The belt, which we get better looks at on future pages, is sort of similar to the one Robin wears on Teen Titans, and also similar in shape to old Statics from his Batman Beyond crossover Future Shock. But since we've never seen this Robin suit before, what happens to it? Will it get destroyed when Jason presumably blows up next issue? Is that what causes Batman to make a different Robin suit, either just for display or in case Jason ever came back? Why would Tim recognize that as the real Robin suit then? Surely he saw Jason on TV, which we'll get to in a sec. Is this whole Jason Todd story just an excuse to get us to Tim's Robin costume? We were fine without knowing the story behind that, guys. We don't need explanations for all the weird background costumes. What's next? The yellow bat suit continues? Well, at least Jason's using the right Batarang. 5. We also get what looks like a new suit for Batgirl, somewhere between her BTAS and TNBA looks. It's essentially the TNBA costume with blue gloves and boots. But the more I sit with it, I kind of like this weird, unseen, in-between time period where Batman put his sidekicks in unnecessary Kenner action figure outfits. Wait, I thought Barbara's presence was rarer then. She's in almost every scene with Jason in this flashback. Jason pulls down a fire escape. No Robin-related fire escape moments anymore. Stay tuned for top 10 fire escapes of the DCAU, including moments involving fire escapes and escapes from fire. And here's the start of the cameo parade, with appearances by the Ventriloquist and Scarface, Lockup, and... hold that thought.
The Adventures of Batman and Robin. Collect them all on video.
Go ahead, Watchtower.
Hey, Batman. I was supposed to do the Patreon party, but there's only one new name this week. It's Chris J. Chris J. Yeah, I just figured I'd let you know about them. You know, if you know anybody else that wants to be a patron, they get their name said when they sign up. But yeah, there's the people that we have to say every time. It's just kind of part of the deal. They're really great people, though. People like Cody Hazel Malik, Dark Poet 1792, Chris Clark, Robert Sterling, Mac, Cameo Shadowness, David Gallagher, Luke Mears, Aaron Young, and Richard Mon 12. And you know, there's like 100 other patrons. I could probably say all of their names for you too if you'd like.
Thanks anyway. We'll make do.
Are you sure? It would be no problem. I mean, I'm right here. I have the list in front of me. Hang on. Is that Nightwing doing the paper crunching thing again? Hey, Nightwing, dude, are you even ever gonna be in the comic?
Over and out.
Oh, that was too close.
Be sure to look for these other super titles from the DC Comics Classic Collection.
6. Summer Gleason. What, you were expecting someone cooler? There is no cooler character than Summer Gleason, except maybe Jack Ryder or most other characters. Scarecrow still looks like he did in Batman the Animated Series, so I guess he hasn't had the chemical accident that transitioned him into his new Batman Adventures look, or the hanging, or the Krang encounter. Whatever you want to believe is canon.
It's all canon!
Alfred also mentions this scene happened one fateful Halloween night, which kind of implies there was more than one Halloween while Jason was Robin. The trick-or-treaters down here, or at least the ones able to be made out, appear to be dressed as Mr. Freeze, Bride of Frankenstein, Superman, a mummy, and George Washington with a mask? Is this Miss America? The Fighting Yank? A combination of both? If it is Miss America, she and Bride of Frankenstein are both characters owned by DC Comics, and could potentially point to Frankenstein and the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. existing in the DCAU. Interesting that Superman is at least known as far as Gotham by this loose Lost Years-ish era, but he doesn't canonically team up with Batman until a few years later. No, this mullet issue of Batman Adventures doesn't count. You know know that, you silly. But I guess Superman's existence would be big worldwide news, though this guy seems to have pioneered the S-shield on the cape detail. A skeleton crew refers to the bare minimum amount of personnel required to complete a task, though their costumes make them look like the Festival of Death costume that Dick Grayson wears while passing through Santo de la Rosa in The Lost Years #3, or the masks from Call of Duty Ghosts. Take your pick. I feel like this last panel is like right out of a Batman the Animated Series episode. Ah, there it is. 7. Is I'm Listening a Frasier reference? Why? Perry Gilpin did do the voice of Volcana, who teamed up with Firefly in Justice League. Am I missing something? Oh, Frasier and Scarecrow's last names are both Crane. That'll do it. 8. Silent? In bold? Hush! And the Bat Crew wearing signal blockers is pretty similar to a tactic used by the Justice League in JL Adventures #16 to block psychic attacks from the alien invaders / Martian killers / not the Imperium, which I never would have remembered had I not just read this issue on our Twitch channel, where you can catch all 3 of us Data Boys going through DCAU rarities every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday on twitch.tv/DCAU Watchtower. Okay, anyway. 9. Scarecrow with a pumpkin bomb. Does Ty have a thing for Hobgoblin? While gas-filled pumpkins in the DCAU makes me think more of Poison Ivy's Halloween segment in the episode Almost Got Him, Scarecrow did use them in the Batman the Brave and the Bold episode Trials of the Demon, as well as the episode The Great Scarecrow Scare of the 60s Batman Superman Hour. Jason speaks to Scarecrow as if he's fought him before. How long has he been Robin by this point? How many lost years are there now?
I'm David Pumpkins!
I know, but like, who are you?
I'm David Pumpkins, man!
Okay, yeah, and David Pumpkins is...
His own thing!
And the skeletons are...
Part of it!
10. Is that Jonathan Crane under there or Jervis Tetch? Ty, did you draw BTAS Mad Hatter again? Come on, you can tell me. You can tell me anything. GCN is the same news network we saw back in Chapter 3, which we mentioned last time might stand for Gotham Cable Network, Gotham City Network, or simply Gotham City News. And here's another Clock Tower appearance. Assuming this is the same one from the No Man's Land map that was more or less absorbed into DCAU canon via Chapter 1, then we're probably in the Diamond District, not too far from Wayne Enterprises. Scarecrow falling off a building has shades of Over the Edge, where Scarecrow was responsible for Batgirl doing the same. Or not really, since that was all a dream. I think that part was a dream anyway. Oh no, looks like I have an excuse to watch one of my favorite episodes. But, as pointed out by Frontier on the anime superhero forums, this is also reminiscent of Jason Todd's first sin as Robin in Batman #424, where he let a guy fall off a building to his death, putting him on Batman's uh-oh radar. Oh, and this should say Lex, not town. Easy mistake. 11. Ty, did you draw the right grappling hook here just for me? You shouldn't have. But really you should have, so thank you. I'm so glad you did, praise baby Jesus. And I get that it's a reference to something that Jason did in the old comics, but really? Letting a supervillain fall off a building? That's the horrible thing that leads to Jason running away? Azrael just did that with the Penguin, so Batman to Azrael, can't wait to work with you again, but to Jason. Bruh. Also, Maddie and I both read these couple pages assuming it was going to lead up to Jason scarring Scarecrow or something that would lead to his TNBA transformation, effectively retconning Batman Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles adventures. Thank God we get to keep that one in canon. 12. Harley Quinn finally appears, continuing the cameos, and even references her time as a psychiatrist pre-Mad Love. We got Let's Potato Chips here instead of Lay's, and Robin's Rampage has similar alliteration vibes to Robin's Reckoning. Plus, I'd wager Martha Kent saw this broadcast of Jason on Smallville News too.
I don't want anyone thinking you're like that nut in Gotham City.
I was also going to comment on the giant flat screen TV that Joker has in presumably the late 90s, and in color no less, which would be odd for Batman the Animated Series. But hey, Joker had a big Pokemon video phone looking TV all the way back in one of his earliest episodes, Be a Clown. And the Wolves were also stealing a TV of this caliber last issue. So whatever. Smartphones be damned. Vandal Savage's World War II meddling caused unintended shifts in technological advances. Yeah, let's go with that. 13. There were no traces of Scarecrow's toxin on Jason's costume? You're telling me he kicked a steaming pumpkin out of Scarecrow's hands, and none of that stinky old green steam got on him?
Dusty old bones full of green dust.
14. Are the display cases lockers now? Is this a different part of the Batcave? Where is this? What is happening? 15. Oof. Robins be dealing damage to Batman when they quit. So now Jason's leaving. What a great character we really got to grow with and learn about for more than an issue and a half, huh? This whole comic should have just been about Jason's story. Yeah, he's been creeping around in all the other issues leading up to this, but I mean, it should have completely taken place during Lost Year's time, with Deathstroke and Azrael and whoever else showing up during this already vague time period. That way we're not shoving even more shit into one of the already most packed sections of the timeline. I'm just saying. 16. Alfred refers to Jason as Batman's wayward Robin. Jason was played by Jensen Ackles in his animated movie, who plays Dean on Supernatural. I think you see where I'm going with this. Carry on! I considered it the bitterest tragedy of Batman's career. Oh, Alfred, buddy. You just wait till the Return of the Joker flashback. You're gonna love it. 17. The Den sign has changed since last we saw it. Now much more graffiti covered and run down. Does this graffiti here mean anything? I know if I ever put graffiti into our Legacies of the DCAU webcomic, it'd be full of Easter eggs. Does this one say dent? Like Harvey? Or maybe don't, as in, hey, Watchtower Database, don't read into this too much. Sometimes graffiti is just graffiti. But I don't know about that. 18. This is one of those very cliche, the bad guy is in the dark, but you obviously know who it is kind of moments, like Joker in the Batman Beyond movie. Oh, it was the Joker? The big smile, Mark Hamill voice and title of the movie totally didn't give it away. Last issue, or this same issue when you consider how it'll be printed, Alfred said, "He's dead. You saw for yourself." But here, Jason says Batman gave him up for dead, followed by Batman saying, "I searched everywhere for you," which sounds more like something horrible happened that made Batman assume Jason was dead, but he wasn't positive. So did Batman lie to Alfred to hide his shame or something? Batman went out searching for Jason all over the place and Alfred never noticed? Why would Batman tell Alfred to tell Tim everything if he hadn't even told Alfred everything? Alfred's gonna be like, "And then Jason died." Then Batman will come back and Tim will be like, "Jason died and you still let me become Robin?" And Batman's gonna be like, "Say what now?" "I decided to take a few years off." Makes it sound like Jason's 4 years comment from last chapter was most likely referring to the amount of time since he died, which would extend the lost years even more. 19. Based on how the red hood wraps around Jason's head and neck, complete with little stretch mark things, it looks like this may be more cloth than helmet. This particular jagged line keeps showing up, which we've hypothesized could be related to the scar on Jason's face, theoretically from when he was killed. But if this red hood is a new look, then he probably wasn't wearing it when he got the scar. So is this even a scar mark? Is this just a face line like any other face line? Should I have waited to go over this next issue when we see if Jason does get a scar or not? Probably. 20. Jason saying Batman isn't acting like typical Batman is pretty on point considering we've been saying that for a while now. Kick over a dead lady much? Batman is hush LOL. 21. Though probably just a coincidence. This whole confront another character in an empty bar scene is pretty similar to the one we just got in Justice League Dark Apocalypse War.
And this time it will definitely work.
Before we get to the final page, let's do one of those fun old commercial bumpers things, where YouTube decides to either show you an ad and get us a handful of pennies, or it doesn't.
You can collect them all on DVD.
You can see the battles that began the Super Friends legend.
Put it on the big screen.
22. Damn it, there he goes up the fire escape again. Don't think this makes the top 10 though. He hardly escaped the fire. His whole damn leg's ablaze. Does this tease at the end mean we'll be getting Rampage next issue? Batman's final pose here is pretty similar to the Batman the Animated Series primary promo image logo thing. And Batman resorting to killing? Not my Batman. Not canon! He's been toying with me. Is that because this whole comic is one big toy commercial? Because those old Burger King Justice League mini comics aren't too far off at this point. Conclusion. I don't mean to end all sweet and sour sauce like that. Am I still enjoying this comic?
Of course, pumpkin pie!
Am I getting annoyed with all the continuity issues, timeline changes, costume conundrums, and largely apathetic storytelling? Of course! It seems like Harley Quinn might be involved with Jason's demise. Otherwise, it's just a wasted appearance by Paul Dini's favorite gal. That's now 2 Robin deaths that she's involved with. Maybe Harley's also on a Task Force X mission when they kill this Robin. But is Jason gonna actually die? It doesn't seem like it, so no Raish, no Lazarus Pits. Why even bring in the Shawl of MacGuffin if it's not gonna be used on Jason? For that matter, why is Jason's hair white then? Stress? Supernaturally intense trauma a la Rogue from X-Men? Should it have stayed red? And with Batgirl's new suit, what does this mean for continuity? I'm a vent here a little bit, but she's wearing her TNBA costume in the Old Wounds flashback when Dick Grayson quits, so she should be in that here, which is afterward. They're disregarding Batman's costume from that episode too. All I'm asking is, what counts to the Adventures Continue team? Lost Year's costume chronology seems to be in play, but they're ripping that miniseries apart in every other way. They mix and match Bat vehicles, Bat gadgets, Lex Luthor's suit, etc., etc., etc. Sometimes the old comics still count, other times Nora Freeze is dead as the deadest doornail that ever deaded. So which is it?
Both is good.
They seem to be kind of just throwing in characters willy-nilly just for the sake of, hey look, it's so-and-so. Firefly? Guess his origin happened earlier now. Ventriloquist? Robin isn't in Double Talk either, so at least we don't have to move that episode. Lockup? Why not? Scarecrow? Probably just picked a costume. We should have gotten his Sockhead costume from his first episode. That would have made us cringe. That's what you want, isn't it, fellas? Yeah, you just want to see us squirm like the little obsessive worms that we are. And squirm we shall. We are worms! Thank you so much to everyone who supports this channel over on Patreon. We've got quite the variety of rewards tiers over there, ranging anywhere from $1, which gets you early access to every video, to $5,000, where we'll fly to your house and cook you spaghetti. Yes, that's an actual thing we will do whenever the pandemic has subsided, an unknown amount of time from now. Whenever now is. We promised a few videos ago that we'd be donating a portion of that month's revenue to Reclaim the Block, but due to overwhelming donations, their website actually urges you to support other organizations that are helping to advance the well-being of minority communities. So, we've just donated over $250 to Zakah, a Minnesota charity that helps those in threat of displacement and unsheltered homelessness. So thank you as well for watching and supporting our videos over the last few weeks, and helping us give back to people in need. I feel like a PBS ad, but seriously. A reminder that we're doing a big 24-hour live stream event on September 17th through 18th, with lots of cool special guests that we'll be announcing on our social media soon, at DCAU Watchtower. That whole shindig will be on our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/DCAU Watchtower, so go follow us over there. We do stuff every week as it is. You're missing out. New videos on these comic issues every other Sunday, until this thing is done. So be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications to become a true database. The database are the fastest growing army on the internet. Don't ever think that Danny Gonzalez's fans are. We definitely are. Don't look that up. Greg can suck it. Bye.